Okay, everybody. So I just wanted to do kind of like a little video here, and I kind of hope to do this in kind of like a little series, kind of like flower bed care. Wait, is this on Facebook Live or is this for our YouTube channel? It should be for YouTube. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. This flower bed goes in a kind of half circle around the pond here, which needs some work on it. But anyways, we've been battling some problems here. First of all, we used to have a pine tree right here, a pencil pine, just like the one directly behind you, which that one's doing really good, but we lost the other one, other than the fact that there's a wild grapevine growing up in it. Sometimes the weeds get so big you don't notice them until they're growing like crazy. But anyways, we had two of these pine trees in here at one point, but we lost the one, and we also used to have a pine tree, a fairly big one right here, and we lost it as well. And we lost quite a few pine trees that we had. They got some sort of like rust and blight on them, and they died, and we had to pull them out. But anyways, long story short, this rose was always very, very small, and it does have some caterpillars on it, which I need to lick off because they've been eating the leaves. Anyways, this rose was always very small. We took the pine trees out, and it got pretty big. It bloomed a lot, and now the caterpillars ate all the leaves off. But anyways, it's doing really well now that it has more sun. But what I wanted to talk about was this little area right here where the pine tree used to be. I have some wild phlox growing in here, and that's a perennial. I dug these up along the stream, and they've since died back. But if you look, they have a lot of seed. And you can see the seed there. So I've been collecting this and spreading it through this area because I kind of want to make this like a naturalized area. It's a little swampy because it's around the pond, and it gets a good, decent amount of moisture. So, like I said, I want to keep this kind of a wild area, but naturalized. But for this year, what we did was we put in some Zinnia seeds. They're just an annual flower, and they're just now beginning to bloom. And we have a couple different colors. This pink one, and there's a purple one, and there's more getting buds. But if we come around this side, I'll show you real quick. I put in a little flag iris, which these do good in areas where there's moisture. This one has some purple flowers on it, and it's getting new growth, so that's exciting. That's a perennial. It comes back every year. And then this sedum I tucked in from cuttings, and it's coming back, and it's getting some bloom stalks, so that'll be there for years to come. And also we have some hollyhocks in here, which I started from seed. And they are perennial, so they'll come back every year as well. There's a couple hollyhocks in here, and in case you don't know, this is what a hollyhock looks like. This one right here. Little round leaves. Sometimes they have kind of fingers on the end, but that's a hollyhock. And this, of course, is more phlox. I'm trying to save seed. It's pretty easy to get the seed off of. But if we walk this way, which was covered in roses this spring. This is just a tiny little mini rose, and it needs to be shorn back now, and then it'll reflush with flowers again in the fall. But here's a bench with some grasses. Then if you come down this way, that also growing up behind you here is a Rose of Sharon, which these are, I don't know how well they grow up north. In our area, they struggle a little bit, and this one's coming up from seed off the original mother plant we had that didn't make it. So it should probably be a purple one, but we'll have to wait and see. And then there's a hosta here. This hosta is getting burnt from the sun because we lost some of the trees in the area that used to shade it. But it's still doing decent, so we'll see how it progresses. Here is another big iris that needs dividing. Other than that, it's doing okay. And in this little bed here, this is where the big hollyhock used to be. I mean, not hollyhock, the big Rose of Sharon, which died. And you'll see that in the front here we have a little bit of Lily of the Valley growing, a small clump. That should spread out over time to help fill in this area as a ground cover. But for this year, I have a couple little zinnias growing. And I have another little Rose of Sharon coming up from seed. Here it is. So hopefully that one takes well and grows good for us. That way we'll have some more Rose of Sharon. And this morning what I did was I came through and I spread hollyhock seed out. Hollyhock seed looks like. I'll show you some here because I just sprinkle them on the ground and they're super easy. That's the hollyhock seed. But it won't bloom until the next year. So I'm just kind of filling up this area with flowers for now until we figure out if we're going to put more trees or not, because I can always move the flowers. They're pretty easy to move. This here is a burning bush. This one is doing really good here. It really likes the spot. It's quite tall, and this is with pruning back, so it's doing really good. This plant right here is a spirea. And it has some variegation on it, not much. But it has a little bit of variegation. And it gets nice pink flowers. The first flush of blooms is over, but it's getting its second. And there's the pond with the pond lily. Really well this year. It's really liking life. And we have lots of tadpoles, lots of bullfrogs, lots of tree frogs, lots of toads. So there's a frog right here too that you might. Nope, it's fine. Anyway, circling around at the corner of the house here, we have these pastas. These are the same type as the other one we saw. These ones aren't getting burnt. They're doing really well. I'm filling in this part of the bed. And then right here we have a Weigelia bush. It suffered some winter dieback, but it's growing back quite nicely. So that kind of just completes this little area. But as I said, I put some seeds down, and I just wanted to kind of talk about them. The zinnias are annual, so they won't come back. But the hollyhocks will, and the hollyhocks aren't going to bloom until next year. So, you know, as time progresses, I'll be able to show you how things are going here and keep you updated. So thanks for watching. I didn't plant them. They plant themselves. But these lavender, what they do is they drop the seed right down in the center of the plant. It makes the individual plants thicker and fuller. But the problem is, on the outside of the plant, it kind of gets a little bald. So like right here, and the lavender seed's just these little tiny black ones. Like right here it's bald, there's nothing growing, and it's an empty spot. So if I just take it like that and fill it in, if I just dust them in, they'll grow. And these lavenders self-seed really well. Like I said, I just kind of pull them up and get the seed out and just throw it back down. In any bald spots in the patch, like right over here in the middle, there's